Your dream was real. We knew those words would capture your attention, and we wanted you to hear them today because your world has moved into a new dimension of its restructuring, as we've spoken of often. But many of you have not understood what we have said, so we thought today we would greet you in a new way. We did not say we have waited for you your entire lives because you will remember that as you hear our words. You are moving through a great restructuring in your world, but that is why you are here to fulfill your dream. And that is the information that we have given you. We know that it's difficult for you to believe that we have given you something years ago that you're only understanding or experiencing now, but you each have done that. You have an evolutionary journey that you are on that is meant to bring you joy, love, and happiness if you were willing to accept who you are. But many of you do not do that, especially when you are moving through periods such as this, where the acceleration of your world is so rapid that none of you would find your bearings. So you might feel many things happening in your physical bodies because you are ascending to a new dimension of your life and of your planet. That is what is occurring now. Again, we know that these things are challenging for you to understand. However, if you make the smallest attempt, you will access the dream that you came to the world to deliver, and you will make a greater change in your world. For that is what has happened. As we have said, this particular transition is generational, meaning that you're bringing in the energies of your ancestors, all those who have come before, but you're doing that so that you can make something better. And the way you make something better is by deciding to love yourself, deciding to let go of your judgments about who you thought you were, what you thought you might have been able to do that you have not done yet, but you will do it now. We gave you a message earlier, which we had Roger do last night because we wanted to show you again that we have given you everything. We said we understood your frustration now. Now, we gave you that message in 2012, and you wonder, how could we have known that then? You are only stuck in physical form and in linear time. So you only see things happening a moment or sequentially. Roger does not see that. He has the ability to see beyond that, which is why this period has been incredibly challenging for him because he can see things and he wants you to come into understanding in a gentle way rather than fear, which many of you might experience if you don't understand what is occurring in your outside world. Everything we gave you in 2012, we said your physical life experience to get you to understand you do not stay in physical form forever. But when you are in this particular condition, it is to offer something to the world and you're meant to enjoy it. You're meant to love yourself. Yes, you will move through your old restrictions and limitations, and those are difficult and they may show up in different forms for you. It could have been your failed relationships, it could have been your failed businesses, it could have been your anger that you're still carrying. That might be old, it's generational again. And if you decide to look at it and let it go, you live a quite different world and life. And that's why you are here. When we gave you our work, it was for one purpose. And you will find many others who will have different ideas about what is occurring, and you will find the one that resonates with you because it will be your soul family. What we gave you was a process, a philosophy to understand how you could live your lives and enjoy them and move through gently your limitations and your judgments. That's the only thing that has held you back. Judgment. All of you. You live in the world to come together as one. And you do that in different civilizations. You're moving through one now, and you're moving through one in this particular time on your planet, and you're going to decide whether or not you want to keep it. That is the choice that you're making. And we told you many months ago that you would choose, and those times are coming upon you. But what you are meant to choose, what you're going to do, is choose love. And the way that you choose love is by loving yourself. And that is a process because we understand that you have been holding yourselves back. You've been saying things about yourselves that were disempowering, meaning they held you back. You could never understand how much importance you possess, how much potential you had to live a life of magnificence and of glory. But it is work because you have to become vulnerable. You have to become willing to look at the lies that you've told yourselves. That's what we mean, lies, because they don't mean anything. You are equal. And you came into the world with all the abilities and talents of every other soul. As we have said, there's no hierarchy of soul. You make that up as you live in physical form. What you're moving through now is a struggle for power. We've told you this many times. And more importantly, in 2017, we gave you a message that said money, love, power, and control. And we want you to think on that one. And we will publish that one again because it would be vital and critical for you to hear it because you will be moving through that in your world now and you won't understand what is happening. But you're seeing humans who are trying to hold on to a power, attempting to hold on to power, which is again generational. So you can't blame them. They came in with that. And you all do that. But what you're meant to do is to use all of your human conditions, bring them together with your different perspectives and ideas and ideologies, and then create something better. Mold them, meld them together, and create something better. And the people who are meant to do that are you. You wouldn't be listening to us unless you came to the world to offer something of magnificence at this time because you knew that it would help your world. Now, we know that you don't have a conscious memory of this, but your higher self does. You have guides, you have those who have been leading you and giving you information that sometimes you hear, sometimes you accept, and other times you put away. Now, we said your dream was real because we're using Roger as an example again. We gave him a dream that he remembered in 2005. You each will have times in your lives, and you use linear years that you will awaken to a new dimension of who you are because it's infinite. You have so much. You have infinite intelligence, you have infinite potential, all of it. You just decide how much you're going to accept at any point in your life. And sometimes it's a little bit. Sometimes you'll make big shifts, and those become a little unnerving. As we said, sometimes self discovery can be uncomfortable. But once you embrace it, you live a life that is loving, that is wonderful, that you have all the things that you've ever wanted. And that's why you are here. You will not see everyone doing that. They would not be listening to us. You are. And that means that you have something within you that you meant to bring about that was going to cause change in your world because this is a gigantic evolution you're moving through. But your essence, your energy would cause it to be much smoother, much better, but you have to get out of the way first. You have to decide that you're going to move. We had Roger give you this information in our program, and then he struggled with letting it go because he knows what's going on, but he wanted more of you to come in. And so he kept playing around with the price. And we've told him this time in your world, you're shifting the wealth and income inequality, but he's still holding on to the old ideas that he's had, as many of you have been, and that is generational again. You must release that because you wanted a world where more of you are sharing and prospering, and you've left out certain parts of your world that you will begin to notice now. This change looks like destruction to you. That is the term that many are using. We have used restructuring because we wanted it to be gentle. It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's why we gave you the work. When you move through our work, you have no more fear. You have no more doubt. You know who you are, but it's a process and you have to be willing to go through it. And this is why we had Roger say, tell them it's a year. Let them stay in it. But then what happens is you move through this time with so much more joy and happiness and love for yourself. And that is why we gave you this information. And those of you who have taken it, you know the experience of that. And we're so grateful for you. And there were two who have just recently joined. And we know who you are. And we're so thrilled that you did, because you have had this angelic gift within you that you have denied, that you didn't believe was real. And this is why we attracted you here. This is why we wanted you to hear, yes, your dream was real. No one was given anything more than what you have. You just have to decide that you're going to open yourself to what you have and allow it to be developed. And it requires you to move beyond your limited thinking and awareness. That means dropping this disbelief that you have. And this is why we've been giving you our messages with references to dates. And we did it again this morning. Rogers always talked about beginning in 1988, receiving us, but he didn't have that particular message or messages. There were actually two of them and he doesn't remember, but we gave them in 1988, but he didn't remember because we didn't want him to have to hold on to that. We wanted him to start to accept what was coming through now, as each of you are meant to do. But yes, there were many who came in during that time in 1988 as your world was going through another change. You had just completed one in your linear years in 1987. And so then in 1988, Roger found himself needing to find some other guidance. And then that's when we came through, only because he allowed it, not because we didn't exist. You all have guides that are with you forever. You just decide what time or when you will allow them to be made known to you. And this, for many of you, is that time. And we would love to be with you. However, if you do not make that choice, please be with other groups. Please work with someone, because you're going to be moving through changes that might be unnerving or uncomfortable. We wanted to give you everything that would cause you to move beyond fear and doubt. That was the only purpose that we had, to guide you to your authenticity. Your authentic self is the most powerful thing that you have, and you've been ignoring it. You've been denying it because you've judged yourselves. And that is the process that we've taken you through, to release and reframe all the judgments so that you come to understand you're magnificent and you can own it, and then start to live very different lives and help your world's transition come to what it was wanting to accomplish. Now it's already moved. The world that it's going to be okay. However, you could suffer more if you do not allow yourself to embrace who you are. And that is your authentic self. And as we have said, who you are is perfect. You just have to discover that. We love you so much, and thank you for listening.